Hello, welcome to the second Plexi video. In this video, I want to take a look at the features that are currently built in PlexiSoft. Of course, there's going to be some features that we can't fully see just because they're not fully built, but we'll see, what's currently here. So the first thing I wanted to take a look at was this quick action bar we have here on top. This bar here, it's always stationary, it never moves. As you scroll up and down, you always have quick access to it. So the first option here, this is the notes to do. So you're able to just go ahead and, if you're basically in the Plexi backend and you want to write a quick note, you don't have to go through the whole feature directly. By clicking on one of these tabs, you can just add a quick note here, and this will go to the calendar as an entry, depending on which date you set it to, and then you can set, assign that value to another person. So that'll all be, set in the calendar as well as the document here. And the next one here is services. Again, this will be changed to products and services. So just a quick way of adding a physical or a digital or membership service. All the values are already here, so just depending on what it is you want to do, you just go through here very quickly and fill it out. The recurring billing trial, this is basically in a scenario where, let's say you want to sell a service for $1, to get people to try it out, and you have a 7-day period length trial. Then after that trial, you can, let's say, charge $99 and so on. So as you can see, after that 7th day, it'll automatically bill that client's credit card, and that user can continue using the service, assuming they've been automatically billed. So that's just giving you an idea of excuse me, what's currently there. Now, this here is an automation for being able to grant group access. For example, the easiest example would be the bronze, silver, gold example. Basically, if you want to do a scenario where it's a certain group is required in order to belong to that group, then you would use this part of it. But if you want to just simply have it automatically remove a group, you can do that here. So if they purchased the bronze package and then they came back and they went ahead and upgraded to the silver package, this here will let it know, okay, go ahead and remove the bronze package and only give them the silver package. So you basically won't have, extra groups that should not be there, when that person either upgrades or, buys something else. And then here's our upsell feature here, where you can you can offer other products, towards the end. So you can choose, what you want to upsell to that user when they come in and they buy, a product, and you have other products you want to offer. You can do that here. And then here's going to be the picture that's going to be assigned to the product. So for example, it's in the shopping cart product form. You can have the picture here, where when they click on it, it'll open up the picture larger. They can see the detail of the product. So depending on how they fill this out here, it's going to be depending on whether or not it's a physical or a digital product. So what we could do maybe later is when this is open, it could be distinguished. Do you want this to be a physical or digital? And then these tabs automatically convert to that specific product type. But right now, you can go in here and just fill it out the way it is, and it'll work the same way. So moving on to the next thing, here's the accounts. This pertains to the CRM side. Basically, account information for people and the lead list. So here's all the information you can compile for all the people that are being added here. The next one was contacts, another part of the CRM, where you have business contact information that you can compile in this area here. So this is very similar from the other one. It's just two different, distinct types, contacts and accounts. The next one here is going to be the opportunities, and this is CRM again. So you can basically fill out an opportunity of a particular business that's happening and save that here, as well as all the documents that go with it. So these are just the quick way of adding any one of these things instead of having to physically go here and then go into the actual feature. This here is the global search. So anything you want to search, whether it's a user or anything like that, or pretty much search anything within the software, it will automatically bring up a menu similar to Google, where it's a real-time search. So if you're looking for a user, if it was a test user, sorry, put a space there. If it was a test user, anything with test user is going to come up, in the whole entire software that has anything that says test user. So this is a powerful way of being able to, search for many different types of things very quickly. So that's a powerful search feature there. This over here is going to be the actual manual that you can download PDF. Probably we can have both options, the PDF and the website version. And we can also add a knowledge base button up here as well. This here is the live chat button. So this live chat won't be tied to the Plexi live chat. It's going to be tied to our WHMCS live chat, which we can talk about later. But in the client's version of this here, excuse me, this will be part of the help desk live chat. It's just in our scenario, it's going to be a different live chat. So just assume in the client's case, this will be our own live chat. So basically, in the last video, we saw how these Plexi boards work independently of each other, how they're customizable. I'm just going to go through this navigation bar here just to show the rest of the features. So we'll start out with the calendar from what we did see in the last video. It's pretty self-explanatory. So we have these meetings here that are set for these dates, and the excuse me, the idea as well is the administrator will have the ability to see everybody's calendar and see what everyone's doing at any given time, so you can switch back and forth to anyone you want to see and what's going on in their agenda. So the administrator will have some pretty nice overview of what everyone's doing. And again, the notes and events to-dos, that is these little guys right here. So as you saw earlier, you can add these quickly, without having to come through here. This here, is a way of importing records that pertain to the notes and events. So it's basically the same way, assuming you're importing other information that's not user-based or product-based. Now this import relationship is going to be another similar idea where anything that's has to do with the CRM, to do any of that kind of information, excuse me, is going to be add into this part right here as far as the ability to be able to import those types of things from other CRMs. Here's the report listing that we currently have. Since we don't have the report builder yet, we currently have these where they're kind of set up manually. So this is, for show purposes. But right now these are manually added. So once we have the report builder, this area here will be we allow the users to create their own reports and be able to pull data from the database according to the different data sets that we allow them to to have, so they can kind of mix and match things together and create their own custom reports in this area. So for now, this is just the default ones that are currently there. So until we get to that feature, we won't really see anything here until then. Uh, you'll notice, excuse me, you'll notice these tabs here are not exactly categorized. Again, this will be restructured. These buttons will be changed out to the proper terminology, and everything will be listed properly in here. We may also have some sub-menus inside here. Like the CRM may have quite a few things we might have to put in the sub-menus. So once we get to that point, we'll see how that works. So let's move over to sales orders. And this is basically an archive of all the orders that have been completed, that have gone through the system successfully. So you can come through here and get a good do a search on any dates. This is going to also require filtering features of being able to pull date ranges and different things like that, or being able to see how much money was made in a certain date range, which again is going to go back to the report builder, which will be a statistic we can pull from there. But here we will have the ability to search between dates and other methods. Process payments. This will be more for determining if someone had an issue, or if they had a decline error and they just left the website and never came back. We'll be able to go back and track that person and send them an email stating we saw that you ordered or tried the order and weren't able to. So the email can give them a way to come back and complete that order. The next thing here, this is the actual ticket system itself. So let's take a look at that. So this is a very basic format of what the current ticket system should be looking like. So it's actually starting to look like a ticket system. So right now each one of these represents a separate ticket. This will be tied into email parser, which is the email piping feature that you can assign one email or different emails to. For example, info@plexisoft.com. So any email that comes in info@plexisoft.com or support@plexisoft.com, it'll come through here, it'll go through the parser, it'll generate a ticket, and you'll see that as an individual ticket, and then you can assign that to the proper person, set the status, the priority, etc. Also, you have the ability to, if the ticket already exists, like let's say this person here already sent the ticket in, the next email they send in, the parser will match that with the ticket that's already here if it has the same email address, and it will attach that email to this existing ticket. So in essence, you'll have a chronological order of all the emails that are sent from any clients. So every email is accounted for, it's assigned to the proper ticket. If they don't have a ticket, a new one will be created for them automatically. So this makes things very easy to manage many clients at one time and see the chronological order of everything that's happening. So if we look inside one of these tickets, you can see right now it's very, very basic. We have the priority, the status, and when you edit this ticket, you'll be able to change all these things. So right now we don't really have a lot to go on currently, but this will be part of one of the big core features that's still being worked on that we need to finish. And the answers tab here, this could also tie into, or it will tie into the knowledge base. So all the different answers we have, we'll have another little option here that'll tie this into the knowledge base, assuming this answer is appropriate for this particular issue. So we'll have a separate knowledge base that'll have approved answers and things like that. The next one here is customers. This would be people that have already have done some type of business or bought something from either the shopping cart or a digital product or anything that anything that basically makes them a client and someone that you can continue marketing other products to. So this would be where they would go. And again, this is not in the right area. It's kind of just thrown in here for now. Services we saw earlier, that's the products and services of all the products that you can add, services, etc. So this is basically the same thing as going up here and clicking, add new product. So you have all the different tabs here the same way. So if we go to discount campaigns, and I create a new one, this gives you the ability to create your discount codes and actually set number of usages to them, so they're only good for an X amount. And then you can also automatically generate a certain amount of codes, and then also give it a close date. So you can easily either do a date, or you can set the amount of usages. So this could be, this could work for physical products you want to give discounts on, memberships, ebooks, any digital form of service or product that you want to give discounts to. This will work with all those things. Email templates. This is going to be basically the repository for every single email that's in the system that you want to have access to. So whether you're sending an email for an order that's been placed, or a password recovery, or dealing with a ticket query, anything like that, CRM follow-ups, anything and everything that deals with email templates will be here. And then within all of the features of the software, you'll be able to pull these emails from there, and you'll have full access to that. So that makes it easy to keep everything in one area, and then you'll be able to use that, any of these emails, and any parts of the other features that allow you to add email templates that are either going out, for a specific action or sale or whatever it is. Front-end templates. This right now is in a very raw format. So, if you know CSS and HTML and a little bit of coding, you can go in here and actually change what they currently look like. But this here will be converged over to our WordPress themes, so you can basically modify and edit everything through the WordPress theme in WordPress instead of having to come here and manually change this. But this also has its advantage too, because if you're doing any kind of modification and coding development work, you will eventually probably come back and edit it this way. But most people will probably not do that. They'll go through the WordPress route, or their own CMS route, and modify it that way. So this is always good to have, for in-depth, customization. Next tab here, my website, the file manager. File manager is going to pertain to the e-commerce side, where it comes to folder protection, organizing the different permission levels. So like here, this could be bronze group, silver group, and you have gold, platinum, et cetera, et cetera. You can have many different groups, many different folders that are assigned to groups. So you can see here we have a picture. If we double click this, it should pop the picture up. And then later on we can get more advanced using this particular file manager feature, because it does have all these little neat things that you can do within this editor. So right now we're still getting to learning how to use this particular file manager. So this file manager can also be used in other different parts of the software as well. We also plan on having this type of editor for the pictures of the shopping cart products that you upload. So you have a little pre-built Photoshop built into it. It makes things easier. Okay, over here we have the protected paths. These are going to be the actual folders that are being protected, that you want to restrict your users to unless they've purchased or have access to them.
So if we create new, you see have a name here, the path. I mean, right now, people have to come in here and manually type in the path that they want, something like this, and the folder name. So this is not really the way it was intended to be designed. Normally you would have a browse button here where it'll go to a pop-up. We'll have a tree of all the folders. You choose the folder and it'll pre-fill in the entire path for you. So this we'll still need to work on. We'll have to add that little part for it to make it more user-friendly. And then here's if you want to enable the mod rewrite protection. That'll protect the entire folder. This one here, this one is a specific option. If the client purchases any service, he'll get access to the path regardless. So that's a very specific option there. This one here would basically not create a mod rewrite protection, which is enabled through this feature. And this is basically for people who are using special scenarios like a CMS like Joomla or even WordPress, where they want to use special URL protection. Basically, since it's a dynamic page scenario, you would use a special format. So you would use this option. You would not use the mod rewrite because the mod rewrite is only for static pages. So if you have a folder and you have the contents in that folder already, and you already have web pages that are linked to that folder, and they are not tied in with the CMS through a dynamic page system, then you would use the mod rewrite. And that's the majority of the people use that. It's only for people who are using very advanced CMS options that will need this last feature here. So as we go in, we have the CRM tab is a lot of things have been taken out. So right now it's just accounts, contacts, opportunities. So these are the same things that we saw earlier. It's just that now you'll be able to see the entire list, and you have the ability to import records from an outside source. So these were explained earlier. Let's move on to the other tab. Okay, now we have account types. These will be used pertaining mainly to the CRM side, and these are mainly identifiers. So these identifiers will allow you to basically create any of these account types. So you can have a whole list of different type of these, depending on how many different categories you want. So basically all account types, currencies, industries, lead sources, opportunity, stage opportunity types, these are all identifiers. So these are all going to bring up this name field here where you're basically going to name it, save it, and then when you go to the CRM side and you go to add an actual lead, it'll ask you what the account type is, and then you just choose it from there. So, just to give you another quick example here, again, these are the same thing. When you hit create new, you will basically say, okay, this is this opportunity sales stage. So whether it's in the beginning, middle, or end, you're going to create all these identifiers to identify that. So same for opportunity types, the same for paths. So if you have different sales paths in your business, then you can create them all here. And again, when you go back to the CRM side, you'll be able to set that path identifier. Again, salutations. This is going to be for Mr., Mrs., Doctor, all the different things to make it easier to identify the person that you're dealing with. So if we go to ticket priorities here, this jumps back over to the help desk side. So basically, this will tell you what the priority of the ticket is. So if we want to create many different priorities, if it's an urgent thing or if it's something that can wait, you're going to create all the different priorities here. And then with each of these, you can assign a different little color coding. So if it's an urgent thing, you're gonna do red, and then if it's got a lot of weight, so the weight factor of importance. So the highest will be 10, the least will be 1, for example. This will be the same way it'll work for the live chat. So the only difference is this will be the name of the person, like Dimitri, for example. And if he's the first one in line to receive all the initial chats, he would have a weight factor of 10. And then if we bring a second level or third tier technician that's more advanced, he would probably have a weight factor of 5 because he wouldn't be taking all the mass live chats. He'll only be taking live chats unless everyone's inundated and it just has to go to him. So that's a good example there of how that's going to be used. So that to get statuses, same exact thing. You're gonna come in here, create different statuses of your liking, and assign a color code and a weight factor. Let's see here. Okay, so that leads us over to plugins. Oh, seems like we have a little problem here. Okay, so if we go to the payments, you'll see that we have Authorize.net and PayPal Pro. If we configure Authorize.net, for example, you'll see that each one of these plugins will have their own way that they do things. So in this example, Authorize.net uses transaction keys, MD5 hash codes, login, and the email. And then they have a little test mode option here. So this will actually get a little bit bigger depending if it's an AIM or SIM configuration. That's going to decide whether it's a custom page or if it's a page that's being used from the Authorize.net server. So there's a big difference there. Also, there should be an SSL encryption option right here they can check off, assuming that they've already contacted their host and enabled SSL encryption on their website. So if we go back to the payment list here and we look at PayPal Pro, you can see the difference in how each one's designed. So PayPal Pro is a little bit more simple. It just has one long signature hash and the username, which is the email, and the password, and that's pretty much it. And again here with the test mode, and we will have another SSL encryption option here for that as well. So now if we go to shipping, I mean the one we have right now is a UPS API, which has quite a bit of different things that we can use. I mean right now we're using quite a bit of them, but there's still maybe 20 other different things we can add on here from their developer docs from what I've seen. Right now we have the ability to set the pickup type, packaging type, the day, phone or internet. So this will lead us to having the ability to have real-time tracking and all the rest of it. And this will tie into their API. So when you go over to the UPS tracker, it'll already be built in, and all this information will already be preset in here. So that gives you an example of that. The taxation plugin. This one we haven't really been able to test live yet, but currently we have a company called ZipTax that's going to do the service of making sure that everything's up to date as far as all the taxes and current year and everything else. So we still need to kind of work with this to make sure that that's all functioning properly. And then we go back to the plugin reports, and this will tie back into the report builder. So this part will be heavily modified once we start getting the report builder in full swing. That pretty much does it for the plugins. Users, this pertains to the e-commerce side of users, whether or not they're standard or administrative users. So here, this is very partial. This is missing the groups and the things to assign to this standard user. if they have access to certain folders and things like that. So this we're gonna, it's partially done. So we're still missing quite a bit here. But right now you can create a standard user administrator, and then we'll have option, eventually the option of creating a sub administrator who'll have, some admin rights, but not full admin rights that the standard user doesn't have. So we'll be working on this as well to get all that going. This import would be strictly for importing users. So each import, whether it's to Excel CSV or a direct raw MySQL file, we still have to add those in here. But normally, when they import that, they have to have the email, password fields and everything already pre-filled in, and they can come here and basically line it up with what they have and import it. So we'll do some more work on the importing, where we'll have drop downs and have the ability to actually choose which columns are going where and how it's going to import. So if we go here to main settings, see we have our own API security key. So that's going to be important for when later other software wants to write plugins for Plexi, they can use that. And then we have the IPs of your website. We put them here. The URL folder with integration scripts. So this is where it's going to put all the integration scripts in that folder. The URL shopping cart page. This is what you can assign to that particular link. URL of service catalog, so the catalog of the shopping cart you can set there. This is basically going to lock the user if he fails. So if I put in 3 attempts and they fail at the third attempt, it'll just lock their account. We do also need to add another little safety net there of having a timer after the ability to auto unlock if that person's not able to get back in. We can have maybe a 24-hour auto unlock. So depending, we can decide on that later. These are the administrative email contacts. So anything the administrator receives, they'll all go to all these emails here. And this is the email that's going to show on the when the client looks at the email. So all the emails that come out of Plexi are going to say info@plexi.com, sent from. This is a neat little feature here. You can use JavaScript for navigation of the services catalog on your website. So you get a little more advanced feature there to allow people to use the navigation with JavaScript. Services rendering method. So this here, both of these features don't really belong in this area. This will be in the shopping cart settings page once we get that created. This will basically have the settings of how you want to list the products, radio checkboxes, things like that. And this will also kind of tie into the WordPress theme that we're going to be building to show different products and better theme templates and things like that. So when we get to that, we'll see how that works. And then we have the currencies that are currently being used or offered currently. So the administrator comes here, they set the currency they're using at the time, and then the next one is this goes back to the shopping cart as far as how it's going to be filtering all the by name, order, and all that. So yeah, this is another catalog, number of services, row cost. So all these here are pertaining to the catalog of the shopping cart. So just assume these parts are going to be removed and put over into a shopping cart setting area, and then the rest of the main settings options will be added into this area. Okay, so if we go to geolocations, so this is basically a list of all the countries and states you'll be selling your product in. Later on we can get a little bit more in-depth in this feature here. We can actually add Google codes and different things like that to pinpoint certain places for, let's say, if they want to show the different shops they have and things like that. So we can expand on this feature later to show things like that. But for now, it's just an ability to list out all the countries and that you're going to be selling your product in, as well as all the different cities inside of them. So moving on here to download integration scripts. And here, this is just giving you the ability, excuse me, to giving you the ability to do a backup on the current integration scripts you currently have installed in Plexi. So you can just come here and just do a quick download, and you'll have everything in just one file. The same thing happens here, and then download all uploaded files. Let's look at export databases. So here's another same style ability to export the entire database, the MySQL database in a raw format, which you can then convert over to a CSV format if you want to in Excel to do an import either in different software, or come back and do a re-import in this software if you need to. Okay, and the last feature I'll be talking about here is this download all uploaded files. So this just simply allows you to go in and download every single file that's been either uploaded by users or the administrator, everything that's in there. So it's just another form of being able to do a backup. I would like to eventually grab all these backup things and put them all into one module, so where the user can go in and they can choose what they want to back up, or if they want to back up the entire thing, they can do the whole entire thing. So we'll, towards the end, combine all these different ones into one, solid export feature that you can do all those things in it. So since this video is getting a little bit long, I don't want to keep going. If I do, it won't let me upload it to YouTube, so I'll go ahead and cut it off now. And the next video will be dealing more with the front end side of things. And then once we get everything more complete, we can go back and do another full presentation of the administrative features and things like that. So we'll just go ahead and wrap it up for now. All right, thank you.